Listen carefully. This is not about being nice. This is not about playing it safe. This is about awakening something in her that she feels in her chest, her stomach, her breath. This is about creating tension, the kind that keeps her thinking about you long after you've gone. Attraction is not logical, it is chemical, it is emotional, it is instinctual. And today, you learn how to activate it. Point number 1, attraction is decided before words. Before a single word leaves your mouth, something already happens. A decision is made, not by logic, not by conscious thought, but by the nervous system. The moment you enter a space, your presence starts speaking for you. The way you stand, the way you move, the way your eyes settle on the world instead of darting around it, all of this is information, and the mind on the other side is collecting it faster than you could ever speak. This is why so many men feel confused. They say the right things, they try the right approach, they rehearse their lines and plan their moves, and yet the result never matches the effort. Because attraction does not begin with words, it begins with state. It begins with the emotional and psychological atmosphere you carry inside your body. When your inner world is calm, grounded, and steady, that stability becomes visible, your posture opens, your movements slow, your eyes soften, and the person in front of you starts to feel something that doesn't come from conversation. It comes from presence. The body senses when it is in the space of someone who is at ease with himself, someone who is not seeking approval, someone who is not trying to impress, someone who is simply there. That state of being sends a powerful signal, safety, certainty, and depth, and those signals awaken curiosity, they invite closeness. They make the moment feel charged even in silence. Most men are stuck trying to manufacture attraction from the outside, with performance, with humor, with explanations, with constant effort. But the men who are naturally magnetic operate from the inside out. They regulate their nervous system first. They slow their breath, they relax their shoulders. They allow themselves to feel grounded in the moment. And from that inner alignment, their external presence becomes compelling without force. This is why stillness is so attractive. This is why calm confidence is unforgettable. This is why the strongest form of attraction is felt long before it is spoken. When you master this, you no longer chase connection, you invite it. You stop trying to be interesting, you become felt. And once that shift happens, everything changes. Point number 2, controlled confidence, the core trigger. Controlled confidence is the rarest and most powerful energy a man can carry. It is not loud, it does not demand attention, it does not compete or perform. It is the quiet certainty that lives in your body when you no longer need anything from the moment except to experience it fully. This kind of confidence cannot be fake it. Because it does not come from what you say, it comes from how you exist. When a man is truly grounded, his movements slow down, his breathing deepens, his gestures become deliberate. His eyes hold contact without pressure. He is not scanning the room for approval. He is not calculating how he is being judged. He is simply present. That presence is magnetic. Most men confuse confidence with dominance, noise, or bravado, but real confidence is controlled. It is disciplined. It is the ability to stay relaxed even when the emotional current in the room is charged. It is the ability to remain centered when desire, curiosity, or uncertainty are in the air. It is the ability to be fully there without chasing an outcome. When you carry this energy, people around you feel it immediately. Their nervous system begins to mirror yours. Your calm becomes their calm, your steadiness becomes their sense of safety, and inside that safety, attraction grows. Controlled confidence also creates anticipation, because when you are not rushing, not over-explaining, not filling every silence, the moment becomes heavier, the air thickens, there is space for imagination, there is room for emotional and physical curiosity to awaken. Nothing is forced, yet everything feels charged. This is why stillness is more powerful than motion, why silence is more seductive than noise, why restraint creates more desire than effort ever could. A man who controls his emotional state controls the entire dynamic. He decides the pace, he sets the tone, he shapes the atmosphere without ever saying he is doing so. And once you learn to live in this state, you no longer need to prove anything. Your presence already speaks. Point number 3, the 60-second window of desire. The first minute of any interaction carries more power than most people realize. In that small window of time, something much deeper than conversation is taking place. Two nervous systems are communicating, two emotional fields are adjusting to each other, and long before words become important, the body has already decided how safe, how interesting, and how significant the moment feels. Most men enter that first minute with tension in their chest and noise in their mind. They rush, they overthink, they try to fill the space with cleverness or charm. And in doing so, they collapse the very thing that creates attraction, emotional stability. When your breathing is shallow, your voice becomes rushed. When your thoughts are scattered, your body becomes restless. And when your body is restless, the person in front of you feels it. The nervous system is honest. It does not listen to words. It responds to state. But when you slow yourself down, everything changes. A slow breath calms the heart. A relaxed jaw softens the voice. A grounded posture stabilizes the entire interaction. And in that stability, the moment becomes safe, spacious, and charged with possibility. When you speak from this place, your words land differently. They carry weight. They feel intentional. They feel chosen rather than spilled. Your eyes hold contact, not to impress, but to connect. And connection is the language the nervous system understands most deeply. This is how attraction becomes physical without touch. This is how curiosity becomes emotional without explanation. This is how presence becomes unforgettable without effort. In that first minute, when you remain calm, you signal strength. When you remain patient, you signal depth. When you remain centered, you signal that you are not ruled by anxiety or urgency. And that signal activates something ancient in the mind, the recognition of someone who is safe to lean into, someone who can hold the moment without losing himself inside it. That is the difference between a conversation that fades and a moment that stays. The man who masters this minute shapes everything that follows. Point number 4, emotional gravity. Most men are afraid of space. They believe that if they stop talking, the moment will collapse. They believe that if they pause, interest will disappear. They believe that silence is weakness. In reality, silence is power. When you are comfortable inside quiet moments, you communicate something rare, emotional security. You show that you do not need constant stimulation, approval, or reassurance to remain steady, and that steadiness changes the entire dynamic of the interaction. When you allow space to exist, you give the moment room to breathe. You allow emotions to rise naturally. You allow curiosity to form without forcing it, and the person in front of you begins to feel the pull of your presence, not because you are doing something, but because you are not. This is emotional gravity. Gravity is invisible, but it moves everything. A man who is centered in himself does not chase the moment. He does not cling to reactions. He does not lean forward emotionally. He stays where he is, fully present, fully grounded, fully at ease. And from that place, the emotional field begins to reorganize around him. People lean toward what feels stable. They relax into what feels secure. They are drawn to what does not need them. When you stop trying to fill every gap with words, the mind on the other side begins to fill that space for you. Imagination awakens, curiosity grows, emotional tension builds, the moment becomes alive. This is why pauses feel intimate. This is why unspoken moments feel charged. This is why presence without pressure creates the deepest attraction. Most men unknowingly destroy this dynamic by trying too hard. They flood the space with noise, explanations, stories, energy, and in doing so, they remove the mystery, the tension, the emotional pull. But when you remain calm and unhurried, when you allow silence to settle without discomfort, when you hold your own emotional center without leaning for validation, something powerful happens. The interaction slows down and deepens. And in that depth, attraction grows without effort. The man who understands this never needs to chase connection. He becomes the place it naturally moves toward. Point number 5. It's micro signals of deep interest. Attraction is built from the smallest signals, not the biggest actions. The human nervous system is constantly scanning for information that answers one simple question: how does this moment feel? And the answer is formed through micro experiences, tiny cues that communicate safety, interest, depth, and strength without a single word being spoken. The eyes are the first language. When your gaze is steady and relaxed, it communicates confidence and presence. Not staring, not avoiding, just open, grounded awareness. This alone tells the other nervous system that you are emotionally available and unthreatened by closeness. Your voice carries the second message. When you speak slowly and calmly, you transmit control. A warm tone tells the body that it is safe to relax. A grounded rhythm tells the mind that you are not ruled by anxiety or urgency. People don't fall into attraction through what you say. They fall into it through how your voice makes them feel. Then there is your movement, when your gestures are unhurried and deliberate. When you take your time with each motion, the moment becomes heavier, richer, more alive. Fast, scattered motion communicates uncertainty. Slow, intentional motion communicates self-possession. Balanced engagement is the next signal. You show interest, but you do not cling to reaction. You listen deeply, but you do not seek validation. You stay connected without leaning emotionally. This balance is rare, and rarity creates value. Finally, presence ties everything together. When you are truly in the moment, not in your head, not in the outcome, not in performance, the interaction becomes real. And reality is what the nervous system craves most. It wants honesty of state. It wants authenticity of energy. These microsignals combine to create a feeling that cannot be forced: emotional resonance. The kind that lingers, the kind that draws someone closer without effort, the kind that makes an ordinary moment feel significant. This is how deep interest forms. Not through words, not through tactics, but through the invisible language of presence. Point number 6, why this works so fast. Desire does not grow from chasing, it grows from certainty. The human nervous system is always moving away from confusion and toward clarity. When someone feels unsure of where they stand, their body tightens, their emotions guard themselves, and attraction collapses. But when uncertainty disappears, something remarkable happens. The mind relaxes and the heart opens. This is why presence is so powerful. When your energy is calm, centered, and unshaken, you create an emotional environment where resistance has nothing to cling to. There is no pressure, there is no tension of performance. There is no need to impress or persuade. The moment becomes honest, stable, and emotionally clean. And inside that emotional cleanliness, attraction emerges naturally. Most men try to manufacture desire by doing more talking, more explaining, more effort. But the men who truly understand attraction do the opposite. They stabilize themselves first. They regulate their emotions. They enter the moment with self-trust and self-control, and that inner certainty becomes visible. Certainty is intoxicating. It tells the other nervous system, this man knows himself. This man is not lost inside the moment. This man can hold what is happening without losing balance. And when someone feels that kind of emotional steadiness in your presence, their body relaxes into connection. They stop bracing, they stop evaluating, they stop guarding. Attraction no longer feels risky, it feels natural. This is why desire can rise so quickly when the emotional environment is right. The mind no longer needs protection. The heart no longer needs distance. The moment becomes open. When you embody this state consistently, you stop trying to create attraction, you allow it. You remove the obstacles that block it. And in that openness, connection deepens on its own. This is not a technique. This is a way of being. When you live in this state, you no longer chase interest. You become the place it moves toward. Here is the truth men are never taught. Attraction is not something you do, it is something you become. When you master your presence, your energy, your emotional control, she doesn't slowly grow interested. She feels it, she remembers it, she craves it. And once a woman feels that kind of connection, she never forgets the man who awakened it.